Hey all of you Halloween lovers, it is time to make our yearly sacrifice to the Great Pumpkin. This year for my pumpkin carving video, I decided to do a few things different. First of all, I splurged a bit and got myself a professional pumpkin carving kit. I'm hoping that one day I can hone my skills enough that I can audition to be on that television show, Outrageous Pumpkins. But for now, a fella can dream. So this is actually very embarrassing to admit, but if you take a look at my left hand, you can see that there is a band-aid on my thumb that wasn't there before. Essentially what happened was, I was looking at the camera monitor while I was carving to make sure everything was in frame, and ended up slicing my thumb open and getting blood all over my hand, the table, and the pumpkin, which set me back quite some time to clean everything up. So I hope that's a lesson to any kid watching this video. These are tools, not toys, and if you're a dum-dum like me and you're not paying attention, you can actually seriously hurt yourself. And for anyone wondering why I didn't include that footage, this is a pumpkin carving video, not a self-mutilation video. That would kind of be a little dark for a lighthearted video, and I would think including something like that would most likely get my video demonetized, and I really don't want that. But that's enough about me turning my thumb into a bloody nub. Let's talk about something a bit more festive. Like, say, mushing your hands in those ooey gooey pumpkin guts. I don't care who you are or how old you get, this has to be the best part of pumpkin carving. For the design of the jack-o'-lantern this year, I was actually inspired by a set of pajamas I got from Spirit Halloween. It was a Halloween 2 themed set of pajamas, and it came with these sleep pants that were covered in jack-o'-lanterns, and it had this design on it. For some reason, I just absolutely loved it, and I saw it, and I was like, that would make a really cool jack-o'-lantern, but there's something else I really wanted to add to this, but we will see that later in the video. As you can tell, it is a rather basic design, but usually for jack-o'-lanterns, that's the way I like it. There's something really nostalgic about those old designs. It just brings you back to when you were a little kid, carving your very first pumpkin, and all you can really manage to do are big circle eyes, a triangle nose, and a big toothy smile. But don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it when I see people who have the artistic ability to be able to sculpt and carve into their jack-o'-lanterns and make it look like a skull or a face or something. That is so impressive. Just unfortunately, at the moment, I do not have the ability to be able to do that. One day, I would actually love to join an art class and learn how to sculpt and carve, and then take those skills and apply them to jack-o'-lanterns. But until that day, I guess I will just stick with these basic designs. They're not much, but if you do them effectively, it actually makes it look pretty darn cool. And I just want to mention, I absolutely love all of the rituals around carving a jack-o'-lantern. From the day you decide to go to the pumpkin patch and find that one special pumpkin that you know this is the one you want to carve, deciding on the design, sitting down, and spending the time to actually do it. And it's really strange because as much as I love jack-o'-lanterns and doing this, I went so many years without doing this. Obviously, when I was a little kid, my parents would take my brothers and I to the pumpkin patch, and we would do this whole thing. But as I've said in past videos, my mom absolutely hates Halloween, and I have no idea why. So we were pretty young when my mom decided that we were too old to be carving jack-o'-lanterns anymore, and we just didn't do it for years and years and years. But ever since I moved out of my parents' place, well over 10 years ago, I've decided I'm just going to carve jack-o'-lanterns as many as I want every single year, and I'm not going to let this tradition die. And obviously when I have kids, I'm going to make carving pumpkins a very big part of our Halloweens. So hopefully they enjoy it as much as I do. So here we have the finished carved pumpkin. Now I know it doesn't look like much, but that's why I went to Michael's the craft store and picked up a little something to really make this jack-o'-lantern pop. a small bolt of burlap. So when I saw the original design on my pajama pants, the first thing I thought of was a scarecrow face. Now obviously a jack-o'-lantern without any burlap or fabric over it doesn't really convey the image of a scarecrow, so that's why I decided to get some burlap and kind of cover the face and cut out the eyes, nose, and mouth to give it this really creepy, gross-looking feeling to it. And I actually got pretty lucky because in that pumpkin carving kit, it came with these really sharp tools that I could use to pull and make the burlap really distressed and weathered looking. You can't really see it right now, but later in the video you'll see the finished product, and I think it gives it a really cool effect. Like this thing has been sitting out in a cornfield for years and years and years. Another huge inspiration behind this look was the Scarecrow villain from the Batman comics. Now, I'm not really a superhero kind of guy, but I do have to say I absolutely love the Batman Arkham video games, and the standout villain in the very first game, Arkham Asylum, was the Scarecrow. He was so weird and creepy, and they gave him this Freddy Krueger look, and it just worked perfectly, and ever since I saw him in that video game, I thought he was like the coolest monster villain there ever was. So here we have the finished jack-o'-lantern. Unfortunately, he doesn't look very scary in broad daylight. We just have to wait for night to fall. Thankfully, once I put some candles inside of it, it really made this jack-o'-lantern come to life. It actually looks like someone put a curse on a scarecrow and it came to life, and now it's looking for its victims on Halloween night. I probably should have spent a little extra money and ordered a hat off of Amazon too to put on top of this thing. That would have really brought the scarecrow jack-o'-lantern image together. Now, I don't mean to jerk myself off, but this thing is pretty darn spooky, especially when I look into those hollow eyes. And when I put this out on my balcony, I'm gonna double check that I lock the door behind me. After all, while I was making this jack-o'-lantern, I did cut myself and get some blood on it. And we all know, during the month of October, there are witching powers in the air that we just don't understand. And on a long, cold, dark autumn night, there's no telling what those haunting powers are capable of.